Okay. All right. Continuing with our Discord emote. Oop, hiccup. My bad. I have to leave my phone on because I'm on call for work. Hopefully no alarms go off. Okay. So we've got three layers. We've got a base. We got the glow surrounding, which is similar to um, character glow, but brighter. So we're going to use similar colors and have it broken up a little bit. So maybe lay down some shading. I was thinking about actually breaking these up all together so that they're individual sections, individual rocks that make up a heart. But we might just see how this one goes for a while. So we do switch to the shading layer. I need to keep reminding myself to do that. Is this different? Oh, yeah, slightly. Cool. So let's go. We make the light go from one direction to the other, or maybe just make the light top down and then dark at the base. So if that's the case, we could go like this. The puppy is chewing something very noisily. And kind of, oh, don't do that. No, no, no. Maybe something more like this and make it jagged. And then maybe clean up some of these details a little bit. Just got some ads. Yeah, I'm not sure if I dig that or not. Maybe make this line a little bit more contiguous. Hmm. Might not be the worst thing in the world. And then we can make the dark at the bottom even darker. So maybe this is, maybe we just put like a little bit of black right at the bottom, kind of following that jagged edge motif. And that's the end of the ads. Should have gotten rid of pre-roll. Oh wait, why didn't that get rid of pre-rolls? That's weird. Hmm. Oh, they're there. Okay, now now we got rid of pre-rolls. I need to automate this shit badly. I want to really spend some time doing a bit of like stream quality of life stuff. um, to help with the interaction a little. I think I'd rather have that interrupt a little bit. Maybe we could even make this a little crack. Yeah, I'll see how that goes. Um, then we want to color in between these two. I'm not actually sure how to do that. This is more of a blue, which is not what we want. We want this color only twice as dark, basically. Or actually, even just in HTML. Let's take, what about black but less opaque, so that you can see the dark underneath. Um, hmm, how would I do that? I want black, but I want to dial down the opacity. How about that? What does that do? This isn't going to work, is it? No, that just that just mills out the whole thing. Let's see here. I see. So if you want, you could even put layers over your own layers and make it twice as dark. It's an interesting effect. Just map out some of this. I can't escape the feeling, and I'm sure this comes with time, that a lot of this is just random, like I'm just guessing, but maybe that doesn't matter. Hmm. Oh, we're well and truly past ads. Yeah, I don't know if I like that or not. Um, Maybe we just lighten the color a little bit. We are not striving for perfection. I have to keep telling myself that. We just have to keep messing with things until we find something we like. I will move on shortly to a little bit of six direction animation. Which is also going very slowly, but that's okay. We will get there. Hmm. Doesn't look like stone, it just looks like a shape. Wonder what happens if I do a bit of outlining. We do some kind of mostly black outline. Let's go with this one again, but go with that kind of opacity. And then just, oh, we need to go, maybe we'll make a new layer for that. Outline. Okay. Not what I was going for. Somewhat outline. I don't hate it. Might be interesting to try and do a blob heart at some point where I just um, where it's made up of blobs, just like the main character is. Animated blobs. What makes every good golem? Rather laboriously outline all of this. Gradually, easy does it. Not really sure if I'm making things better or worse. But you know what? You can't know until you try. It's an interesting way of kind of semi-anti-aliasing. Interesting. Because you get some that are, whoa, that was not intended. You get some that are full opacity and some that aren't. Just by doing line draws. How am I doing? I should have the preview up, right? Not brush preview, where's the actual preview? There it is. Okay. Just keep mapping our way around. I'm sure there's a more pixel artisty way to do this, right? Bound to be. Doing outlines. Maybe people just sketch it all around rather than doing it click by click like I'm doing. Maybe they use that shader brush. I don't think I want to outline through here. I just want to keep going from here. Turn this into a Twitch mode as well. Because I don't have a heart right now. No heart. I use hearts a lot in my everyday emoting. This is for my everyday emoting needs. 100%. Okay. Not great, not horrible. Now, could just leave it there. Not wild about this texture unless I do it across the whole thing. What if I was to shade using this color, but at a lower opacity here? So let's see if we can double up on some of this stuff. What's my brush size? Oh, that's not going to work, is it? So it has to actually be darker. How can I take the hue higher? Get this back to full opacity and then dial the gray down so that's much darker. And then less opacity. Even less opacity? Yeah, I don't want it too spotty. Hmm. I want to know what the effect is when this is a tiny little emoticon. It's almost like you should draw arteries, right? Little stone arteries. I don't I don't actually hate that. It's actually kind of interesting. I don't know that these are coronaries, but it's kind of fun. This is so stupid. Uh, yeah, no, it's not working for me. But maybe I'll keep this idea of the coronaries. Maybe I will. So kind of big arcs is what we're looking for. Big swooping arcs that supply all of these stony areas. I don't know, man. What's the actual pattern of the coronary arteries? Hey Adam, how you doing? Okay, so we got aorta coming down into the RCA, and then the LCA. Interesting. Oh man. Instead of I should just make a stone heart, right? Like not even this little heart shape, but a stone heart. I think what I've done here is okay. I think I need to let go of the idea that this is my forever heart, so to speak. Rid of that. Color match this. Get rid of most of this. So I just don't like the way it looks. Can maybe leave a little bit at the base. And then touch up the line work a little bit here. And that should be on outline. Something like that. And yeah, this is just like it's a heart, but it's a work in progress. So save as, we need to be in EG. Where is EG? Oh, here we go. EG, stream, and go with, oh, actually, I've got an emotes, haven't I? Yeah. Why won't you change directory? There we go. Heart. I see. Heart. Aseprite. Hey, Crosby, how you doing? I am doing an emote, and then I'm moving on to six direction animation, which is horrific as I'm procrastinating. Okay, so export as. Excellent, good to hear. Don't resize, heart PNG. So this is going to be heart 128, right? Well, if you don't recognize what it is, I've done a pretty bad job. No, it's just a heart. I was trying to make it stony, but I failed. So I was thinking maybe I'll use my reference character and make one out of sections of him. Because the whole thing is they're like elements that have been animated like a golem, right? So yeah. So I will see what it looks like on the Discord. Maybe if I import it into Discord. Where's my Discord gone? Actually, maybe I won't get into stream right away because they take time to approve them. But I can add it to Discord. Settings. Server settings. Emoji. Upload. WEG emotes. Heart 128. Oh, there it is. Nice. Well, it doesn't look horrible. See what it looks like in a channel. Sorry, this is all off screen for relatively obvious reasons, I hope. First pass at a heart emoji. Here it is. Oh, it doesn't look horrible. I'm not sure that everyone's going to know what it's at, but never mind. The left side is very pointy. It threw me off. Yeah, you're right. What would happen if we changed that? Let's see here. Can still make it angular without it being pointy. Uh, well, that doesn't look horrible. Your bar's a tad low. I think my bar is about where it should be. Given my level of experience, I'll take what I can get. Okay. See if we can improve on this a little. Shading needs a little removal, little tweak here and there. Half of this, honestly, is not even to end up with fantastic artwork. It's just to teach myself the tools, get used to them, get used to working with them, get used to breaking things and putting them back together and finding out shortcuts and all that kind of stuff. All that good shit. And then white. I don't know. Is that better? Maybe. Looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like the continent of Africa. Hey Melvo, how you doing? At the moment, I'm doing an emoji which I've just shoved into Discord, and we're just seeing what would happen if it looked a little less pointy. So not like this, in other words. I don't know. We'll have a think about it. Um, so for a dog, nose point down with a little smile and crinkly happy eye. Now, I'm worried that if I see that, I won't be able to unsee it. Oh yeah, okay. All right. Yep. Yep. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Fair enough. Um, all right, so this was procrastination. So I need to close this, save it, close it, and get back to this. So the challenge is six direction animation, which is like terrifying to me. So I'm making myself do it. Um, so we've got our reference image, we've got south, southeast, northeast, and our animation for northeast, which I was able to do a little bit last night, but obviously not complete. And then we've got north, northwest, and southwest. And I've been following this. These are the pictures of hearts. I was going to think about doing an anatomically correct heart. I've been following this Adam Eunice tutorial, which goes through all of the directions, but of course using an isometric square rather than a hexagon. Um,
Cadence. I think that the starting frames, they're not perfect. We'll definitely adjust these.
so he's advocating that in your frames, if you have six frames, you start with one. Oh, we got some ads which I will pause for. Need to get another cup of tea is what I need to do. But that can happen in a minute. So many things to do. I have to do art. I need to get the music and sound started at some point. That'll be a whole other stream. And then I need to plug all these animations in and make them work. I think I've got that mostly done. I was working with a spreadsheet that looks like, I don't even know if I've still got it. Oh yeah, it just had arrows on it to point in the right direction. That was my animation. Never mind. Absolutely did do that when I was making the spreadsheet, but it wouldn't be, it'd be just annoying to have to do it in the game because eventually I'll be moving through each image in the spreadsheet index, so it's just easier to have them as separate. Um, okay, so his theory is that you start slightly back and stretch all the way back and bring the torso down, then lift the foot up, then move the knee forward, and then stretch it all the way out, and then slightly back, and that's your cycle. Someone on stream last night. Does he have a little tail rock? Yeah, someone suggested that to me when they were visiting. He's got like a little tail, but you have to be very careful that you ensure that it looks like a tail and nothing else, basically. So I'm thinking about having it extend out a bit more and wave around or something. I don't know. But yeah, someone suggested I give him a tail, so now he's got a tail. Yeah, so now I need to figure out what to do with this tiny little stub of a left leg and move the arm as well. So uh, maybe I'll start with the arm because that feels like the easiest bit. So left arm, color match that. So what position is the right arm in? What's our first frame? The right arm is basically ever so slightly forward. Oh, see, that moves too far. So actually, I think right arm needs to start further forward than it is. This is not intended to be exact for very obvious, hopefully should be very obvious. We're just trying to kind of rough out everything, and then we'll go through and make them look hopefully better. So his arms are made up of a big blob, which is his shoulder slash arm, and a little blob for his hands. 2 seconds. Yeah, that's a fair point. Waving it around might not be the best idea. Yeah, so two blobs. So back over here, we know that in the next frame we're going to stretch out the arm a lot further. So we just want to tween it a little bit so it doesn't look too bad. Right, so in that case, the left arm could start in a very slightly backward position. I have to keep changing layers. I'm appalling at just forgetting and ending up doing all my editing in one layer. we'll just very slightly make that back. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm not aiming for perfection. I'm just looking for a start to get better from. I'm on call for work, so I have to keep checking my phone too. No, we're all good. My apologies if the notifications show up on the stream. Okay, so start there and go even further out for this frame. Oh, does he have two frames where his right arm's in the same position? Oh no. So there, there, back to there, starting to move behind him, starting to move even further behind him, and coming back towards center. Okay. So let's try to do something similar for the left arm. Trouble is, these characters always end up looking like they're marching rather than walking. Someone last night suggested that for a golem like this, I should just have his legs spin around like wheels, which I think would be really cool. But maybe we'll save that for a power up or something. Turn the walk guide off. Okay, so we're starting there. Go further out. Maybe just moderate this one a little bit. Now we should be starting to move forward, so you should see less of the arm. Maybe a little more on this side. And then almost nothing of it. I don't know. That looks pretty artificial to me, but let's see how we go. And then coming back into view. So something like that. So where are we up to? No, it's not terrible. Obviously, he looks like his left foot is stuck in the mud, but we can fix that. Okay, cool. So let's see if we can fix that. So where's our start frame? A little bit further back. So that means that this foot needs to be almost invisible, maybe just a hint of it. Oh, let's get to the right layer. Left leg. Okay, so perhaps we'll just hint at the idea that there's a foot here. And then we'll make this ever so slightly bigger to give us something to work with. Okay, so next frame stretched all the way out, so this should really be almost invisible, but just again hint at the fact that his hip is in here somewhere. And then next frame starting to lift up off the ground, so I would expect this to be planted, right? And I think maybe that this torso isn't actually high enough, so we can't see enough of his leg, but we'll figure that out. So this bit goes away. This maybe, maybe just a tiny bit here. And then advance. So now this is probably accurate because we're lifting up off the ground. Maybe this foot is just a bit misshapen. And then finally, we've got 2 more frames. So at this point, it should be fully extended, so we can probably see a little bit more of it. Let's go. The puppy is just destroying the chew toy. It's fine. Nobody panic. Okay, so a little hip here, and then we'll try and draw the knee for the first time. And then a foot just doesn't look very real to me, but we'll get there. We will get there. We're just looking for blobs in roughly the right positions, which is pretty much all a pixel art when you think about it. This arm is too big too, I think. And then here, we're returning to equilibrium, so that might actually be fine again. What's the rough effect of all that? Okay. I mean, it's not terrible. It looks pretty artificial. I'm not sure about the up and down motion. His argument is that, oh, here we go. The white lines are where his stance is. How wide is, yeah, so I've been calling them rails, but it's something that this video suggested to try and map out exactly where the feet should be. I don't know if I can find it. But I've had them like in the final
Look at that.
sprite. Oh yeah, here we go. So you can see he's drawn in these little positions
That's better. And then even here, I could probably conceive this going that way. Yeah.
so that you can tell
Cool.
roughly where his feet are going to be. Um, but all of that can be turned off. So in the final exported image, it'll just be this. And then the game will draw the tile set underneath it. And I'll always know which tile set he's on, but the idea is that he's walking along across the top of them. When you look at this, to me, he looks very bow-legged, kind of. I don't know if that's, and this head motion doesn't seem real, like it just goes up and down, but baby steps, right? Um, so yeah, let's look, maybe that how some of these proportions compare to the reference. So we've got this guy who's to me looks like he's quite high up. If you look at the hex, he's all the way to the top of the screen. He's got this massive pumpkin head. And then I think this left leg just looks too stubby and not useful. The right leg doesn't look too bad. I'd love to actually see it with the textures in it so that I can tell. Maybe his arms aren't too big. His left arm is too small, I think is what it is. And his left, that kind of magnifies the fact that his left leg looks too stubby. Maybe his right leg needs to reach further forward up to sort of this area. Hmm. Thing is, we don't want to go for perfection. Perfection is later when we actually get good at this. What we need to do is get something that works. Okay, and I note that I've said that I'm going to get good at it with confidence. That actually transpires is anybody's guess, but I like to think so. I like to be optimistic about these things. So let's be confident and go for larger sizes here. I'm in completely the wrong layer, and I always do this. Is it Control Y? Okay, oh, no. All right, so we need to be on left arm. There we go. Now we can do it. And we'll just bulk everything up. Just keep thinking to myself, big, bulky shoulders. Give it a little bit more space in the hand. And this looks wrong to me, so let's go right arm. It's all too blocky. We're stretching out, so we want to go something like that. Back to the left arm, bulking it out, making it bigger, we're making it stronger. We're pumping them up. That one's intentionally, you shouldn't be able to see much of it, but we can still see the shoulder. Okay, how does that change things? Still, in some ways, that shoulder's a little bit too, there's some funny flashing around here that I don't like. And this leg, we need to extend this leg out further, and we need to make this leg a little bit more obvious. So let's start at the beginning again. I'll actually get to he extends a long way out the back, that's good. Lifts up, reaches out, so this one I think needs to go out further. That would be the wrong way. Right leg. In theory, this should be his hip and it shouldn't really move that much. And then that kind of thing. And what's our next frame? Coming back towards the middle. Does that help at all? Maybe. What can I do to improve this left leg? Look at his legs in the main reference. We've got what might be his hip or his thigh. We've got a flattish sort of a knee, and then we've got a bulging foot. So here, his hip or his thigh, and then a flattish sort of a knee are pretty much all we can see. Unless we can possibly see his foot through his torso, but that doesn't make sense. I think actually what would be better would be to make the torso more filled in. Because he's got kind of a pot belly. So we need to give him his belly and not this wide empty space. That makes no sense. More belly and possibly tail. A little stub tail. And this doesn't look right. This is too long. So right arm needs to chop off a little bit, and then right hand can move up to be more in line. And then torso has room to fill out a little bit more. Something like that. Okay. I mean, you could mess with it all day, frankly, but it's enough to be going on with. So we need to move on to one of them. How do we apply it to the other directions? So I think Adam's argument was that you can just mirror two of the directions. Like if you do northeast and southeast, you can then mirror northwest and southwest. I'm not sure if I really necessarily can, but I don't know. Anyway, I think I need to practice, so I'm just going to keep going basically. I think I might try doing one of the facing. So either the south facing, oops, either the south facing or the north facing. Maybe south facing because that's the kind of canonical one that I've got. It's gotten so much smoother in just a few minutes. Oh, thanks, man. I don't know that it was entirely intentional. I think a lot of this is by accident, but we're giving it a crack. Okay, so south is the one where we can see him. So let me think about this. Actually, maybe I might look a bit more at his version of south. He does it. I think this might be it. Oh, that's north walk. Northeast walk, north, southeast, south. Let's try this.
So, same again. Now, there'll be time to update any of what we don't like about this once we go to the detail phase for each of these frames. But for now, as long as we're happy with this, the shoulders are roughly where they need to be, the anatomy's quite right. Like, I'm animating these without any clothes. I'm not animating the hair. You can see how, if we would apply the same process, we would eventually get to those details. But just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm keeping it quite abstract in the animation phase.
I hear you, Adam.
So
You're keeping it abstract. Go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's keep this stuff flat. Link those cells. Let's just make sure we copy and paste the animation frames for reference, and we can watch that
Oh,
play
so
out.
he's doing it with
So
these
now we're
ones
going to do
as
the same thing
reference.
once
I
again.
don't think I'm
Bring
quite
this
that
out to the
advanced.
side so we can see it, and then make the head do our motion. So 1, 2,
I think I would
1,
just get lost
leave
if
it.
I tried to modify
1,
it like
2,
that.
1, leave it. Same thing with the body. 1, 2, 1, leave it. 1, 2, 1, leave
Right,
it.
so every time you take a step forward, your hip drops and your torso drops
I
and
do
your
think
head
we'll move all
drops.
of these towards the end. I have a feeling. This is too low. Coming towards the camera. That means that when we step, like when the blue leg steps forward, it's going to come right to the edge here. And
Okay, put it right to the edge.
I want to see this pretty much be like
Okay,
this.
so we got some ads. I'm going to pause this and I'm just going to shoot away and make a cup of tea and I'll be right back.